Alrighty, guys, how was your weekend? As for me, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the best weekend this week because last week I got into a little incident where I fell from a flight of stairs, and right now I'm actually in, I guess, a half cast, so I haven't been walking properly, so been stressed about that. But other than that, I'm trying to be positive about everything and hopefully getting prayers from everybody to heal as soon as possible. Now, a lot of people spend their weekends quietly alone, but most people try to socialize like me. And for many, socializing can be just an everyday routine, but for some people, it can be tricky business. It's because we try our best to communicate and understand each other, but unfortunately, it never goes smoothly as we plan. Now, once in a while, more often than you think, we run into people who just don't appreciate others. Now, if you happen to bump into those people over the weekend, then the next song is appropriate for you. Check it out. This is CeeLo Green with Forget You. That was CeeLo Green with Forget You. And you guys are now tuned into What's Poppin' with Brian Ju on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and its surrounding areas, GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, a couple of things, of course, how to get in contact with us. Pretty simple. All you got to do is send us an email to efmpoppin@gmail.com. If you have any questions or just want to drop us a message, of course, and say, what's up? Also, you can check out our playlist on our website at tbsefm.soul.kr/efm/what's poppin'. Also, the easiest way, of course, these days, Twitter at TBS What's Poppin', or send us a text to sharp pound 1013. Each text will cost you 51, of course. We also got Kakao Talk, if you add TBS EFM as a plus friend, that is. And most importantly, we're live today, so hit us up on our phones at 02-778-1013. But for now, a word from our sponsor, which is Asiana Airlines. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for today's pick. Now, in case you guys forgot about our new segment, today's pick is where I pick an occasion or a scene, and I recommend a song that will go perfectly with it. And the word for today's pick is temptation. Now, every once in a while, we all face a wide range of daily temptations, from little things to serious ones, of course. And to give an example of one, getting a cinnamon bun instead of a bagel. Oh, so hard to decide. Or a decent sandwich for breakfast. Or skipping a workout, or eating late at night, which I kind of did last night, so my face is a little puffy. Or going crazy shopping like a shopaholic at your favorite store, or online shopping. And of course, there are the extreme temptations as well. But let's just keep things on a lighter topic because it's only Monday morning, of course. I don't want to stress you guys out. Now, my question to you, what is your daily temptation then? All right, craving to eat ice cream at midnight, or playing one of those crazy smartphone games you can't go to bed on time? Tweet, text, email, Kakao, or call us what your daily temptation is. Now, the interesting thing is, when ordinary people are trying to resist their temptation, there are people who try to stimulate your temptation by rubbing things in, or trying to market things, or, cool designs, the list goes on and on. Or your friend can sweet talk you into doing things that, you don't want to do, and you do it without you even knowing it. To be, away from temptation is pretty difficult. While the world is full of temptation, you feel small because there's only so much you can do and control. So let's listen to some good music, groove to the music, and forget about these temptations and just feel good about yourself right now. The next song we're going to play for you guys is Rock Steady by Remy Shand. That was my man Remy Shand with Rock Steady. And earlier we just talked about temptation, and I bet there are a few minor temptations that we all have. Now, a very common one is definitely laziness. Now, maybe some of you have planned to go, work out or attend class, but I get, it gets very difficult since it's been very cold outside, and I get it, I'm the same way. All you want to do is crawl back into bed and get under the blanket, just be lazy, and that kicks in for everybody. Now, maybe you blame yourself too much for not being a good person, or you're tired of being a good person, all right? Some people aren't good enough, and some people are too nice where they actually have people take advantage of them or just have people walk all over them. Now, if you're tired of refusing temptation, then you need to start spending your time and being around people that make you feel better and actually inspire you to be a better person. Alrighty, so the next song is for all those people out there who need that in their lives right now. This is Eric Benet featuring Faith Evans. Great song called Feel Good. I know y'all feeling good right now. That was Eric Benet featuring Faith Evans with Feel Good. And you guys are now tuned into What's Poppin' on TBS efm 101.3. Listening to your boy Brian. We need to go over some Twitter comments right now because we're blowing up, of course. Now, today, let's see. BFFJ Walker Asiatic said, I've met Eric Benet. First, though, holy crap, he's short. Brian, you'd feel like a giant next to him. Really? I just feel great right now. I know I'm a short dude, but Eric Benet, he's short? I just thought that he'd be like, 5'11", 6'1". And I know a lot of listeners are thinking, 5'11's tall? In my eyes, yes. Unfortunately, I'm only 5'8", or I think I'm 5'8". The doctor told me I was 5'8" last time I did a checkup, so that's what I'm believing right now. Anyways, Brian Drew Canada wrote, I feel groggy today since we just switched clocks ahead by an hour, currently lounging in bed while listening. Well, I know you're loungy, or not loungy, groggy, tired, probably, just mad at the world that you wasted a whole hour because you have to change your clocks and everything. But I'm just glad you guys are tuning in right now from wherever you are. So Brian Drew Canada, thank you very much. May Ann said, yeah, I feel like I am what you said, be tired of hashtag people who take, I'm pretty sure it's a long text message, so take advantage, yes. There are people like that in life. I've been there, You're just too good to your friends, or people that you think you're your friends, and technically they're not really your friends, they're more like an acquaintances, but you care about them, so you go out on a limb to take care of them and, just make them happy. Next thing you know, they're talking smack about you behind your back, or, using you for your money. You gotta be smart with that kind of stuff. You guys have to learn how to read people. I know it's not easy in the beginning, but that's a very important thing. Alrighty, those are the Twitter comments for now. I just want to remind you guys, we got funk music playing today because today's Monday, which is Jump Up and Get Down. So, in the second half, we're going to be taking all your requests. So, to do that, send us a text, tweet, call, email, whatever it is. You can come to the studio and let us know what song you want to hear. Alrighty, guys, we just need you guys to start sending in those requests. Alrighty. Now, today, I'm trying to lighten up your mood because, you guys know it's a Monday and, Mondays are not the best days. You just had a crazy weekend. A lot of people are probably hungover because y'all was getting drunk last night. Koreans do their head shake stuff, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you don't want to be drinking, but sometimes you're tempted, or not even tempted, but you're forced to drink because you have your sunbaes, the people in the business that have been in the business longer than you. You have no choice. So for you guys, I'm here to make you dance, make you feel better. I'm like, one of those after hangover cure, I guess, drinks that you can buy at the convenience stores. That's what I am. The next song that we have for you guys, and the last song for the first half of our show, is Anniversary by Lamar, and a very special featuring guest as well. Now, we played the song by the featuring artist last week, and her name is Josh Stone. So I think you guys will recognize her voice in this song. It's a great song. Check it out, Lamar featuring Josh Stone with Anniversary. Welcome back to the second half of What's Poppin'. All you guys ready to get down and groove to some funky music? Because today is Monday, which is Jump Up and Get Down Mondays. We're going to be playing some upbeat music, mostly funky ones, as I said before. So we're going to make you pretend that's not even Monday. So pretend it's like, Friday and the weekend's coming up. Alrighty, guys, so send in your requests through tweet, text, Kakao, emails, or even by calling us at 02-778-1013. But for now, a word from our sponsor, which is Hyundai Motors. Welcome back with your boy Brian Jewell. What's poppin'? Now we're going to start a new segment called Jump Up and Get Down. And I would like to remind you guys, of course, more of what we have for you guys in store for the new season. Now, Mr. Joe Park will be stepping in the studio on Tuesdays to talk about sampling on our Tuesday segment called Chop, Loop, and Reverse It. Of course, you guys are going to get all interested for that, of course, because you never know which songs came from what songs, and we love to, educate y'all in the music world. And on Wednesdays, it's time for Groovy Grooves with Jazzy Jew. Listen to good soul music, R&B, soulful, music for the soul, of course. And on Thursdays, we'll be having Mr. Johnny Flow in the studio for Check the Rhyme, all about hip-hop. And last but not least, our beautiful Punita will be dropping in the studio on Fridays for Say What? And this is a segment we bring you guys news, hot news, of course, regarding the music scene, what's out there, sometimes some crazy news, and that's why it's called Say What, because what happens when you hear some news that's shocking or just catches you off guard, everybody be like, what? Say what? That really happened? And that's why it's called Say What. But for now, let's listen to some funky music with our segment called Jump Up and Get Down. And the first song we're going to play for you guys is by none other than the Commodores. Now, the Commodores is an American funk and soul band whom gained their first recognition when they're opening for the Jackson 5 on tour. And as a result, the band signed with Motown in 1972 and stayed until 1985. Now, their songs are usually R&B, and they released many hit songs with the style of ballads, of course. Just to Be Close to You is one of them, of course. And, of course, Easy, but except for a song that everybody knows called Brick House. Yes. Now, Brick House was an exception for the usual style of music, but soon it became the band's anthem and cracked the top 10 at number 4. So with no further ado, check it out. This is the Commodores with Brick House. Once again, that was the Commodores with Brick House. And you guys are tuning into What's Poppin' with your boy Brian Jew. And like we said to send in your requests, and we'll do our best to play all the requests that come in. And we have so many. We blew up today. I didn't know that people liked funky music. But before we get into the first request of the day, I'm going to read some Twitter comments that kind of make me laugh, because I do remind you guys what today is, and it's about funky music. And somebody requested Green Day's Basket Case, because it's fun. But Green Day Basket Case is rock. Okay, y'all, that's not funky music. So for whoever requests that song, we're very sorry. But if we have a rock day, if we actually add a rock day, maybe. But for today, we're not going to be able to play that song for you. But I just wanted to read your tweet and say thank you for the request. Also, Brian Jew Canada wrote, ha ha ha, reminds me of university days, people going clubbing and drinking from Thursday through Sunday, and I didn't join that craze. That's very smart, because during university days, of course, I didn't go through those days because I was here working my butt off. A lot of people do tend to sway away from the educational part and do the partying part a little too much. And once you join that craze, academically, you're going to be not doing too well in school. So big ups to you, Brian Jew Canada, because you were wise. You chose the path unchosen by most people, because most people like to party all the time. Partying isn't a bad thing, but you got to do everything in moderation. Alrighty, guys. So we're going to get to the first request. And the first request is by BFFJ Walker, JJ Addict. And she requested Wild Cherries. Play that funky music. So check it out. That was Moving On Up by M People. And that was requested by Mariko Iguchi on Twitter, of course. And you guys are now tuned into What's Pop with Brian Jew on TBS efm 101.3. And today we're talking about temptation. Now, what are some temptations in life, your daily temptations that you guys go through that you just can't handle? Now, a lot of people, they have the small temptations, big temptations, whatever it may be. Like for me, being a person who loves to work out, and of course, you guys know that recently I hurt my foot. And so, to be exact, I think I broke my fourth toe, the toe next to my pinky toe. So with that problem, I can't really do much. And of course, you know how much I love CrossFit. So I can't do CrossFit for about 4 weeks. So my stress and my temptation is to go to the gym and work out as much as I can. But of course, the doctor's telling me to rest as much as I can. So I'm going to have to do only upper body stuff when I can. And, I'm tempted to, not listen. Sometimes you just want to go the bad route and just, you know what? Who cares if it doesn't heal properly? I just want to do what I want to do. And those kind of temptations, sometimes you shouldn't actually fall into. You need to, take the advice of other people and be wise, So for you guys who's tuning in right now, wise up. Don't go the bad route. Try to stay positive and listen to the good advice that people give you. Alrighty? But right now, we're going to get into the next request because we're blowing up today. And Ebony requested a great song by a group called Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now, this is a perfect example of what funk music is. This is Boogie Wonderland. That was Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind, and Fire, requested by Ebony. And you guys are now tuned into What's Poppin'. Unfortunately, you know what time it is right now. It is time to wrap things up. But I want to thank you guys all for tuning in today, of course, for Mondays. Get Up and Get Down, or Jump Up and Get Down, I'm sorry. And today we're playing funky music. And I was looking at some of the Twitter comments and some Twitter requests. And we just have to let you guys know and inform you guys when we ask you to send in requests. We're very selective, so if we say funky music, we only play funky music. We're sorry if you guys are upset that we don't play our requests. We're not going to play rock songs. We're not going to play electronic music on Mondays. But of course, like I said earlier, I was giving you guys a quick, update and a quick run through of what we do throughout the week. So like we said, today we did funky music. Tomorrow we're going to have Joe in the studio. Wednesday we got R&B music. Thursday we got Mr. Johnny Flo. And then Friday, of course, we had Punita with the news. So keep that in mind. Don't get confused. And also, with me talking and everything, I know you guys are probably awake now. So while you're awake, one thing I would advise you guys to do is to stay awake. That's a very important thing. Drink your daily coffee, not too much caffeine, because if you drink too much caffeine, you might go a little crazy. And also, I want to give you guys some advice on how to socialize. Earlier in the opening, I was talking about how socializing could be tricky, and at times it could be awkward for a lot of you guys who aren't really used to socializing and talking to new people. So there's 3 things I want to say to you guys before we go. Now, the 3 things are: try to engage with people that you meet where you may be. Just don't be quiet. Just go up to them. It's going to be awkward in the beginning, but to break the ice, you know what? You got to keep up with the news and current events. So that's number 2. Try to know what's going around so you can have small talk. But like, hey, did you hear about the news? Blah, blah, blah. Did you see the sports team? Blah, blah, blah. Beat the whoever. You got to know that kind of stuff. And number 3, develop a friendly tone of voice. No one wants to talk to somebody with an attitude. You don't go up to somebody and be like, hey, what's your name? Nah. Be like, hey, how you doing? Hi, my name's Brian. Oh, are you new here? Someone wants to be welcomed with a warm tone. So keep that in mind. Hope that helped you guys today. And of course, hope the funky music woke you guys up, because, Brian Jew is kind of like a daily dose of caffeine, and that's what I'm here to do. But don't be sad, because we'll be here again tomorrow at 9:05 a.m. sharp. But for now, the last song of the hour is by the brand new Heavies with Dream On Dreamer.